Education. The place to be, to learn new things, to spread your wings, new thoughts to bring, new songs to sing, new ideas to ring. It makes you think. It makes you drink a drink of all the things and all the thoughts and all the theories that the school system has failed to deliver. Or perhaps not failed, perhaps something else. Perhaps we prevailed through its deceptive hell. We groan, we moan, we complain, yet fail to explain what it is about the school system that has left us lost, confused, drained, taken advantage of like guinea pigs in a global, industrially produced experiment. But it's education. We're meant to be learning, not yearning for an urn in our place in society, struggling to retain what's deposited in our brains only to be withdrawn within weeks. It's education. We're meant to be connecting, collaborating, cooperating, not idling in isolation, alienated from creation, conversation, and communication. It's education. So why the controversy? Why the struggle? Why the uproar of students around the world protesting and resisting that the system isn't doing good enough? With intentions of advancement and betterment and enlightenment, why are we forever stuck in a one step forward, two steps back cycle? Let's break it down. Banking. Deposit, withdraw, a banking system loaded with flaws. We aren't teaching the students, we are training the students how to show up to school, to follow the rules, to follow what's planned, always raise your hand. It's just like a factory where authority is mastering how to put in information just to pull it right out. And that's all it's about, without a doubt, to shape and mold and mend and sculpt us into obedient little girls and boys that don't resist the system. But how can we resist with no time to spare? We're busy cramming for tests, trying to succeed if we dare, struggling to stay awake during class, simply trying to pass. It's not about improvement, it's all about achievement. How much can you memorize? How well can you perform? How long can you study? How much can you retain till you're totally drained and you're forced to spit it out, completely burnt out? Tests, exams, quizzes, papers, due dates, letter grades, percentages, numbers. Numbers, numbers, numbers. You know where else you can find a whole lot of numbers? Take a walk to the bank. Though I must admit, it's hard to escape an idea that for years has been drilled in our brains, and I hate to be the one to point the blame, but hear me out and you just might feel the same. Let's take a look at the ones at the top, the ones that talk and the ones that chalk and chirp and chatter and train us into reading, writing, listening, repeating. Our educational authority. Think of the way that we're poked and pried. Don't speak unless spoken to, single file line, crisscross applesauce, phrases repeated and engraved in our conscious that have conditioned us to consider that we aren't the ones in charge of ourselves, of our learning, of our education. But rather, it is putty in the hands of teachers, educators, professors of all kind that use their authority to keep us confined to a mindset that binds us to their word. And so, for years, we have simply listened, followed instructions, accepted punishment, let them deposit and let them withdraw as they draw on their power instead of being enacted by virtue of knowledge and wisdom. A system they tried so hard for us to embrace, but here's my opinion, and just listen for a minute, that there's nothing to embrace, so we are forced to resist. We are forced to speak up about what's pushing us down. It's a tug-of-war battle, a let's end this war struggle, a struggle for acceptance and a call for resistance, and a call for unity to resist authority. But let's put authority to the side while we go for a ride, a drive beside the things we tried to learn. Take secondary school as the example at hand. Most of us weren't a fan and found most of it bland, yet we still call it the best 4 years of our lives. And why is that, we ponder? And it really makes us wonder, and it really makes us realize that the things which were most important were the things we weren't taught. How to make friends and have critical thoughts. The things school brought weren't things which we sought. A sort of indirect instruction, full of little communities and unspoken rules of the social hierarchy that had us all fooled, thinking social reproduction wasn't breeding in the walls and roaming the halls and hiding in stalls. Schools subtly submerged us in standardized situations where social expectations were still far from liberation. We may have learned lessons like finding friends, but at the same time had social norms drilled in our heads. Boys and girls' bathrooms, praising popular people, romanticizing overworking ourselves and demoralizing taking care of ourselves, needing to excel to earn respect, the exclusion of minorities in every context. And how about the fact that we had a curriculum that for years just ignored the basis of the land we live on? And I could go on, but this has gotten quite long, so let's wrap it up here before things get unclear. Education. Place to be, to learn new things, to spread your wings, new thoughts to bring, new songs to sing, new ideas to ring. It makes you think, it makes you drink a drink of all the bits and pieces of what broke and pierced us. We groan, we moan, we complain, and are finally here to explain what it is about the school system that has left us lost, confused, and drained. Banking education, students as factory workers and standardization, authoritarianism, the feeling of alienation, the need to resist, indirect instruction, and inevitable reproduction, all tied up in a pretty pink present with a boastful bow on top. And we can't break it down, for it's already broken, or perhaps not broken, perhaps just bent, and perhaps we can prevent its downward descent in an attempt for advancement, betterment, and enlightenment, an attempt for improvement, an attempt at taking one step forward without taking any back.